Did you know that about 1.5 million people in Germany are considered intellectually disabled? All of these people face many difficulties in their everyday life, especially in a discipline which seems almost trivial for many of us: reading and understanding text. There's a solution to help not only the disabled people, but also millions of people with limited reading comprehension due to other factors. For example, refugees who are learning German. In total numbers, there are about 13 million people in Germany who are in need of simple language translations. But a solution is only as good as its availability. And here comes the problem. There are no mobile apps which help people with limited reading comprehension to translate into simple language when they need it. And the computer programs are often very expensive and unintuitive to use. This problem gets even worse when we compare the pay gap of disabled people in specific jobs for them to the current minimum wage in Germany. We can see that they earn only about 10% of the usual minimum wage. Therefore, especially disabled people do not have much money to spend for additional services like translation. Subscription services for simple language translation usually cost around €50 per month, which is only 23% of the average salary of a disabled person in Germany. That does not sound very inclusive, right? Further limitations, such as text-only in- and outputs, make them also difficult to use for a good portion of the audience. Considering all these problems, EasyLingo could be a solution. EasyLingo is a concept of a mobile app for smartphones which makes simple language translation accessible, affordable, and easy to use, while profiting from the capabilities of the devices most of us already own and use every day. EasyLingo uses optical character recognition, short OCR, to scan text via the smartphone camera. This feature is also used by Google Translate for translating into different languages. By using a camera, the users don't have to type the text they want to translate, which makes it also more accessible for people with limited precision and movements. In addition to the other input methods of typing and OCR, the app offers automatic speech recognition using the smartphone's microphone. While also extending the accessibility, this feature has enabled users to transcribe and save the information from conversations for later use. For the translation output, the app offers simplified and also enhanced texts. This text can be saved for later usage. The most important aspects of the text are highlighted to help the recipient understand the text better and also faster. There's also an auditory output designed to help people with severe reading comprehension difficulties or limitations in their visual abilities. This output method might also help language learners with the pronunciation of the words by reading the translation text out loud. But now let us move on to the largest question. How do we even get a helpful translation into simple language? And how do we know if a text is simple and understandable enough for people with intellectual disabilities? Well, there are certain criteria for this. At first, we need short and comprehensible words, which should be used in as short sentences as possible. The grammar of the sentences must also be simple, for example using the active voice. Additionally, a clear structure, legible fonts, highlighting, and the addition of pictures is highly useful for the recipient. Volunteers play a huge role in this concept, as they can participate in helping disabled people while keeping the costs for the people in need as low as possible. For the participation as a volunteer, the app offers a volunteer mode. I will explain the features and use cases of this mode in the following slides. The basis of the translation is done via crowdsourcing work of the volunteers. They receive example texts and the criteria of simple language translation in their app. These examples are then translated and can be edited up or downvoted by users and other volunteers. The translations of the crowdsourcing feature and already existing simple language texts from public websites are used to train their specialized artificial intelligence. In the future, this AI will be used to do the translation work and to keep the cost and the required translation effort from the volunteers as low as possible. At last, in certain situations, it may be even difficult to understand the simplified versions of text or conversations. In this case, volunteers can register themselves to help people in desperate need by doing a video call. This call goes out to every volunteer in order to find at least one available person. Additionally, there are many forms made by authorities or for social welfare, employment and other aspects of daily life which may be difficult to understand, which will be requested more often. For cases like this, EasyLingo will offer a variety of simplified versions of important forms. The simplified versions of the forms offer assistance by explaining where to get specific information, for example, the social security number, and provides links and websites or phone numbers of the local authorities or contact persons using the location data of the phone. In the beginning, I talked a lot about money, and now we're back again. To make EasyLingo as accessible and affordable as possible, we strive for public funding and might also be dependent on optional donations by volunteers or private foundations. In the long run, EasyLingo should be free for every user in need. Now, let's work together and make the world more understandable and accessible. Thank you for your attention, and I will be glad to answer your questions. You can contact me via the given email address.